Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Fastlane podcast with me, your host, Amy. It's good to be back. It's been a hot minute since I've done anything like this. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, hi, welcome. I've been posting on YouTube for a while. I'd have taken oh my god, English. I have taken like a year-long hiatus, but I'm back. And for those of you on YouTube, hi. Hi, it's been a while, but this is our new format. What do we think? I just basically need somewhere that I can vent about motorsport, and this is going to become my outlet. And I'm not sorry about it. Anyway, let's get right into it, shall we, with the Spanish Grand Prix. Okay. This was emotional for me because, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I am a Red Bull fan, okay? Ride or die, Red Bull fan. So this was a bit of a rough watch. I mean, this whole season's been a little bit of a rough watch. Let's be fair, I don't mind McLaren. I had Oscar Piastri picked for the championship this year, so far that's going great for me. And as for Oscar Piastri, another probably flawless weekend from him. Let's be surreal. This is his 5th win of the season, and he's going at it. He is going at it, and I personally, well, I could be happier Max could be winning, but apart from that, I couldn't be happier. Yeah, he got pole position. He led every lap, like lights to flag, a brilliant start off the line. Like, nobody was, like, overtaking that man. He managed his tires so well. And yeah, he is still championship leader. It is very close between him and Lando, though. Lando coming in second this weekend, and this is actually McLaren's first 1-2 of the season, if you can believe that, because I can't. That doesn't, because they just had like such a good car this year that doesn't actually comprehend in my mind. It's taken them 9 races to get that like 1-2, but fabulous work from them, let's be so real, and they had a good strategy. Okay, let's talk strategy. So before we get into let's talk strategy, because I am a strategy girly. So McLaren, both the drivers started on fresh, soft tyres and then went on to the mediums. It was like a basic, simple, easy 2-stop strategy. They put it on lap 16, which was pretty good for soft tyres. Again, that McLaren, fabulous on the tyres, okay? Brilliant tyre preservation, brilliant work in the pit stops, which obviously led them to get a 1-2. It was a little bit close there with them and Max for a second, but really they had it covered. Let's be so real. Were we expecting anything else? Ferrari, however, used a bit more of a conservative strategy, I feel. I think, yeah. Obviously, both the McLaren drivers had fresh soft tyres, and I believe Leclerc was on a used set at the start. And then, yeah, Ferrari used hard tyres throughout the race, and it did get him onto the podium. So, thanks to, of course, Red Bull. And there's a reason why I support Red Bull so heartedly, and it's, for the most part, it is the drivers. I am a Daniel Ricciardo lover. I'm a Max Verstappen lover. I'm a Sebastian Vettel lover. Okay, this is going to be like a massive Red Bull x Max Verstappen rant fucking incoming. So just like prepare yourselves emotionally. They went for a rather risky strategy. Okay, 3 stops. Okay, 3 stops. Fine, it should have been, like, it just meant that he could push harder, I feel. However, that didn't really pay off for them. Obviously, we had that really, like, late safety car that came through, which absolutely shafted Max, because obviously, like, you're going to want to pit to, get those fresher tires on. At that point, I believe his tires were quite old. So that left him with only hard tires for the end of the race, which, like, it could be worse. It could have been worse. He could have just, like, not had any tires left to pit. But I don't know why they just left him with hard tires as his, like, emergency final tire. You know what I mean? Like, that was not the best option. And from there, like, it went downhill. I was so excited when he, like, jumped Lando into the first corner. Amy was having a fabulous time at this point in the race. I think I physically cheered in my room at, like, 11 o'clock at night. I apologize to all my flatmates. But yeah, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Obviously, on the start, he had like a little incident with McLaren, like nothing major. Obviously, there was no penalties involved. A little tangle, if you will. And after that, he was getting a bit frustrated given he was on the hard tyres and those just take too long to warm up. He went off track and Red Bull told him to give that position back to Georgie boy because lasting advantage stuff, you know what I mean? FIA is gonna slap you on the wrist for that one. However, after the race we found out the FIA was not going to do that. They were well content with that. That was fully fine. So Red Bull really dropped the ball and making Max give the place back. And I feel like Red Bull never tells Max to give places back. That doesn't happen, but they did it this time, and I don't know why. Something was just in the air in Spain with Red Bull. Don't even get me started on Yuki qualifying in 20th, while Max qualified in 3rd. It's okay, I'm just gonna breathe for a second, because now I finally understand what it's like to be a Ferrari fan. Is this how you guys have been feeling? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. Well and truly, guys, good freaking luck, man. What else went on? Oh my gosh, I haven't even spoken about the George Russell incident with Max. Okay, so yes, back to the point. So yes, Max had to give the position back, and he tried. An attempt was half, maybe potentially made at some point. He started letting Russell through. So he was on the left-hand side. It was the left-hand corner, but he gave Russell enough space and slowed down for him to get ahead, in theory. And then mid-corner, Max was no, fuck this, mate. I am gonna do a little crash. I'm just collide a little, boop. Not so great. So Max had just been having a little bit of a crash out for this whole race, and honestly, I feel that. But there is no reason to go colliding with other drivers unnecessarily. You could have, just settled with 4th position, Max. You could have done that. And that's still, a decent haul of points towards the championship. Truly, just settle with that. And then you're going to be hit with, a 10-second penalty and just, dropped all the way down to 10th. You were lucky, okay? You were lucky that Georgie boy got slapped on the wrist in Monaco, okay? Because otherwise he'd probably be 3rd in the championship. I'm just saying, I haven't actually done the math. Math isn't my strong suit, but I feel that could potentially be happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, that didn't pay off. And this also means that Max is really close to a race ban. Okay, he is 1 penalty point away from a race ban. And his next point's reset at the end of this month. So he needs a fully clean Canada, fully clean Austria. Okay, otherwise, race ban. Although they didn't really do that for Kevin Magnussen. I don't think they did that. I can't actually remember. I feel like they just ignored the whole race ban thing, right? They weren't that serious with it, so I can't imagine that they would be banning a 4-time world champion. I don't think that's very good for press, for business, and F1 is such a freaking business. Don't even get me started on that. So yes, after the race, 10-second penalty, rough. And also, Nico Rosberg called for a black flag. It's so funny, Rosberg is such an icon, but he called for a black flag for that incident, for unsportsmanlike behaviour. Which, yeah, maybe he crossed the line from being, aggressive to dangerous. That was definitely a bit of dangerous driving from you, Maxi boy, I can't deny it. I really can't deny it, eh? But Rosberg, always such an icon. Speaking of him, while we're just on the topic, I'm gonna interrupt myself for a second. And I was watching an interview with him, and he said he helped pay for Kimi Antonelli. He contributed money towards Kimi Antonelli's career because Mercedes wasn't paying him enough or something. And that is so iconic of him. That is so iconic. Rosberg, what an icon. We already know this. I really want him to come out with a book. I would eat that shit up if he came out with an autobiography. I want all the drama between him and Hamilton. I want it all. To be fair, I think Max Verstappen would also write a pretty solid autobiography. Probably slightly traumatic. You know what I mean? Given the whole, yes, Verstappen, thing that's going on. Anyway, back to the race. So it was like, there was no like proper crashes, to be fair. Like, everybody was nice and clean besides Max at the end. Everybody was basically nice and clean. We did have 2 retirements, however, but they were like mechanical failures. First of which was Alex Albon. Williams, you're going so good. You're going so good. Don't throw it all away now. XO. And Kimi Antonelli also had a mechanical failure, which is what brought out the safety car at the end of the race. So if Kimi could have just like held on for those final 6 laps, it's just like the world would be so different, you know what I mean? The butterfly effect is wild. Okay, moving on to my standout performers from this race weekend. We have a few, actually. I think there's a few drivers who just had fabulous races outside of, like, you know, your Oscars, your Landos, you know what I mean? First of all, Nico freaking Hülkenberg, okay, dragging the complete fucking ass of a car that is the Kick Sauber from 15th in qualifying all the way up to 5th. I think, like, after the first like lap, he was already up to 10th, which is, like, just an insane start from him. And then to, like, pull it all the way up to 5 and, like, overtake Hamilton, like, he did so well. I'm sorry for him, and I'm 100% falling for the propaganda that he is getting a podium one day. Like, he deserves it. Like, if there's any man in sport that deserves a freaking podium, it is Nico Hülkenberg. I don't know if he'll ever get a race win. I'm gonna be so real, but I fully believe in him getting a podium, and I stand by that. Next up, we had Isaac Hadjar. He scored more points for the Racing Bulls, finishing 7th. And I think he's actually the rookie who has impressed me the most. Like, I didn't expect much from him coming into the season. So if I didn't follow him too much in F2, I usually, like, pick one Red Bull driver in F2 to, like, latch onto. And it wasn't Isaac Hadjar for whatever reason. So when he started popping up in, like, all the FP1s, I was like, oh, what's going on here? There are, like, other Red Bull Junior drivers who, at least at the end of last season, when, like, it was announced that he was coming to Racing Bulls, I thought that they were better Red Bull Junior drivers who 100% deserve their seat more. I might be slightly biased in that fact, but we move. And he's having, like, such an impressive season. I actually haven't been able to, like, talk about it with anyone because obviously I'm just, like, starting this podcast now. But, like, last weekend in Monaco, a fabulous job. I mean, fabulous job from Racing Bulls in general in Monaco. Like, y'all can say what you want about how they shouldn't have been able to do that strategy, but it was within the rules and they did it. And again, as a strategy fan, like, that is what I froth over and obsess with. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a brilliant maneuver from them in Monaco. And again, they did really well in Spain. So, snaps for the junior team. And who knows, if Max Verstappen does actually get this race ban, is Isaac Hadjar going to move up into Red Bull? Although, it will only be for one race, which I feel like is less pressure than having to, like, pop into that, like, full-time gig. Because as we all know, that second seat is cursed. But maybe if you're driving Max's car, you won't be cursed. You know what I mean? Maybe you won't be cursed. Maybe Isaac can, like, dodge it. I don't have faith, though. I don't think anybody can drive the car besides Max. Anyway, my third stand-up performance was Fernando Alonso. Okay, he scored his first points of the season and on home soil, which has just got to be a good feeling. He's had, like, such awful luck this entire season, and to be fair, he hasn't had the most, like, lucky career in the entire world, but yeah. And I think Aston Martin in general has just had a rough start to the season. I mean, obviously Lance Stroll also missed out on this race, so Aston Martin was only running the one car, so maybe they're just, like, focusing on him a bit more, maybe do a bit more of that. Yeah, Lance Stroll, like, a few years ago, if you guys remember, had that hand injury, so that's, like, flared up again, so he was missing this race, and obviously the regulations stated that they couldn't run a replacement due to the fact that so the practice sessions on qualifying had been complete and you need to run, I believe, at least one practice session. It's like one of those practice sessions you have to run in, otherwise no, you can't race, they won't let you race, which is valid. So yeah, I mean, Fernando only finished 9th, but given everything that's gone on, pretty solid work from him, I must say. And I'm gonna actually, like, pop back to VCART for a second, because Lawson was also so close to getting points. I think he finished 11th in the end, but he was also really close. So fabulous job to them. Yuki we don't actually talk about because, once again, the curse of the Red Bull second seat is so real, and I still think we should just bring Daniel back. He was the only one who could match Max in that car. I'm sorry about it. Like, just bring the man back, and then everybody, including Amy, could be happy. I'm currently wearing a Daniel Ricciardo shirt because, yes, it might be like almost a year since we like kind of figured he wasn't gonna be in the sport anymore. It's been like 6 months without him, and I'm not coping. Okay, guys, I am actually not gonna cope with it. I don't think I'll ever cope with it because he's like the only man I've ever gotten a tattoo for, and probably the man I ever will get a tattoo for, because why would I ever do that? if this one is gonna give me fucking trust issues from being fired twice, okay, since I got this tattoo, who knows what the rest of the men are gonna do to me, like, respectfully. No more tattoos for men, okay? I might get Max Verstappen one though, because I don't think he can hurt me the same way Daniel did, right? Right, like the other option, we're back to Max Verstappen, and the other option for the person who would replace him, I say, he just runs a different name. Franz Herrmann is going to replace Max Verstappen. Okay, or maybe Franz Herrmann can replace Yuki Tsunoda, and we'll just have, like, double the max. Max to the max. And he's just such an icon for that. He's just such an icon for that moment. We're just, like, rocking up to the Nürburgring and be like, I'm going to choose the most German name ever. Hey, Franz Herrmann. Here we go. Okay, I get that it was, like, weeks ago, but I'm still not over it, and I still haven't had the chance to talk to anybody about it because nobody in my life understands F1 the way I do. I think a lot of you do as well. Okay, back to Spain. Your top 10. Okay. 10th, Max Verstappen. We've established this. 9th, Fernando. We've also established this. 8th, Pierre Gasly. Okay, pulling that Alpine up. And I must say, Franco Colapinto, as a Jack Doohan fan, okay, I mean, I'm more just like his fan base than him. I think Franco's fine. I'm just like pissed that he replaced Jack Doohan, because I have photos with Jack. I got his signature. I brought his shirt, and now I can't on the spot anymore. See, this is why I have trust issues. F1 drivers are why I have trust issues. Yeah, so good job Pierre for pulling that up into 8th. Isaac Hadjar 7th. Lewis Hamilton 6th in the Ferrari. Nico Hülkenberg 5th. Then 4th, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri, who are top 3. And yeah, I mean, a Ferrari on a podium is always fun, I think. As somebody who's not a Ferrari fan, I do really feel for you guys now that Red Bull went through it this weekend. If that's like the emotional wreckage that the strategy is putting you guys through every single week, again, I don't know how you do it. I was like about to crash out. Like, you know how Max crashed out? I could crash out like Max did at like any given moment, like normally. However, if Red Bull like fucks me over like that again, I swear to God. Anyway, now we are going to move on from F1 for a second. I want to talk about some other motorsport things that are going on, particularly things like motorsport races that I'm going to be watching to fill the void now that F1 is taking a week off. I mean, like, understandably, it's been a triple header. It's been an intense few weeks for everyone. Okay. In Australia, we have the series called the Supercars. So exciting. I love the Supercars. I've got, yeah, Red Bull's also my team there, and they're also winning, and my driver's winning there, so yeah. So if Red Bull lose in F1, at least I know that they're winning in the Supercars, and that I can like fully just get behind Brock Feeney and be fine. Not that he's ever won a championship, but he's this close every time, and his teammate always wins. But I've got so much faith in him. I think he's like the youngest, or like one of the youngest of the grid. He's 21. Like, the drivers in Supercars tend to be older than in F1. But yes, fabulous series. If you don't watch it and you're Australian, you should watch it. Or like internationally, you should watch it too. I think it's Australia's best motorsport series, and I oftentimes find it more entertaining than F1. Anyway, Supercars are going to Darwin for the Triple Crown. Super exciting. It is, I believe it is the Australian like Indigenous round as well, so they all bring like special liveries, which is incredibly exciting, and I love a good livery design, so I'm excited to see all of those. It's one of my favorite tracks of the whole season, if I'm going to be so real, and it marks like the mid-season point in the Supercars calendar too, at least So I might do like a whole video breaking this down one day, but like there's two sort of championships that go on. So at the moment we're sort of in like the sprint championship, so that's your shorter form races, which is still like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, right? And then you have your enduro championship. Those are your like Bathurst 1000s, your 500-kilometer races, all stuff like that. That's your endurance championship, and they'll have like two drivers, like you'll get like a co-driver for the Bathurst 1000. So yes, Brock Feeney is currently winning the sprint championship. And we are halfway through the season, so again, just gonna like throw all my weight behind him and support him as I like to do. Other than that, obviously the Formula 1 movie is coming out pretty soon. We've been seeing all the hype around it. Obviously starring Brad Pitt, produced by Lewis Hamilton. I mean, I'm excited for it. Not that I think it's going to be particularly, like, you know, informative or, like, realistic. I've got, like, low-ass expectations for that, but it was made by the same guys as Top Gun, so, like, it's going to be, like, a good movie regardless. Realistic, probably not. More Drive to Survive-ish drama, but I get it. You're capitalizing on a whole, like, pop culture buzz. I appreciate that. Like, it's still gonna be good. It's still gonna be good, and I'm still gonna go watch it, and I'm still gonna enjoy it and analyze the shit out of it. Oh my god. For those of you who don't know visuals, my blanket just fell off. I wanted this to be more of like a cozy vibe, but I just moved, and the lighting just isn't set up, right? So it's not really cozy. It's not giving cozy, but hopefully next week it can give cozy. Once I get like the lighting sorted out. I did have a lamp, but I accidentally knocked it over and broke it, and caused the electricity to stop working in my room, and I freaked out. But then I went out like on a night out, and I got back and it was fixed. So that's good. That's good for me. In terms of other upcoming motorsport races in the world, obviously you had Formula E Shanghai Grand Prix, the E-Prix. I don't know if that's already been. I don't really follow Formula E too much. Like, I vaguely follow it. It's like on my peripheral vision, you know what I mean? Like, I know who's winning and shit, but like it doesn't feel so gimmicky to me, and I know everybody says, but it feels so gimmicky to me. Other than that, we have WRC. They got a rally going on in Italy, and of course the NASCAR Cup Series is in Michigan. Also, very exciting. I might actually have to tune in for a NASCAR race for like once in my life, because Will Brown, who races for the Red Bull team, like Supercars team, he's doing a little one-off surprise appearance in Chicago, as his predecessor Shane Van Gisbergen did. So Shane Van Gisbergen did like a one-off race, and then he left full-time to go to NASCAR. So, and that's how Will Brown ended up at Red Bull and Supercars. So he's just like following his footsteps a little. I think Brock Feeney has also expressed interest in maybe doing a little NASCAR run out. I think because the cars are like vaguely similar, but like obviously Supercars drivers don't race on ovals or anything like that. Like that's like a new challenge for them, which is pretty cool. And obviously your next F1 race is in Canada. I enjoy the Canadian Grand Prix. It's on at an awful time for me. I believe it's on at like 4 a.m. or something like stupid ridiculous for anybody who has a life in Australia. It's just like, unless like the European races are like usually 11 p.m.-ish, so that's like fine, but 4 a.m. like actually I can't, but I'm gonna watch it anyway because it is such a great race and it's always so unpredictable. The weather usually throws like a curveball into that, which is pretty cool. So I am excited for that one. Not so excited to have a whole week off of F1, but that's the way it goes. And I do Supercars keep me busy. And yeah, I think that's all I want to yap about. This was like just half of this was just me ranting about Max Verstappen and Red Bull, which I think is valid as a Red Bull fan. Okay, come at me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening or watching, wherever you're listening or watching from. We really do appreciate it, and hopefully this is a regular thing. But for now, this is me signing off, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!